38 years ago today that Diego Maradona moved from Boca Juniors to Barcelona for, get this, a world record transfer fee then of £5 million. He was only 22 years old. For more, we bring in Sid Lowe and Alejandro Moreno. Sid, I'll start with you. It's funny, you think of Maradona, you think of him in an Argentina shirt, a Napoli shirt. You don't think of him in Barcelona. When you think of his time in Barcelona, it's a lot more about how he left than how he arrived.
Yeah, and there is a sense of unfulfilled potential there. When he did play and when he was fit, that he did extraordinary things, and people remember, for example, an ovation at the Santiago Bernabeu. Some of the performances were off the scale, and players still talk about his first day when he walked into the dressing room, saw a ball of socks rolled up and started flicking it into the air and doing kick-ups with it. But he wasn't able to produce everything that he could have done. He had hepatitis, of course. He had that broken ankle in the clash against Athletic Bilbao, and his career ended at Barcelona with that extraordinary Copa del Rey final against Athletic, which ended in what was literally a kung fu fight on the pitch involving all the players. And there's a real sense of sadness about how it ended at Barcelona, because he could have been brilliant there as well. It didn't work out, and I suppose in a way football will look back on this and say, well, so much the better, because of course what he achieved at Napoli was just so extraordinary.
Ale, it's a pretty good resume for a player of his so-called forgotten era is at Barcelona, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a turbulent time for Diego Maradona at Barcelona, and if you follow Maradona's career and if you have read a little bit about him, it has been largely reported that that's at the time that he went to Barcelona is when he started dabbling with cocaine and drugs and so on and so forth, and we know how important that became for him and his career and his downfall as his career wore on. I think off the field, he was having issues. On the field, the fact that you get your leg snapped in half by Andoni Goicoechea, and after a tackle that then he was dubbed as the butcher of Bilbao, el carnicero de Bilbao, Andoni Goicoechea. He became more famous about that tackle than he did about what he was as a player. And Maradona then was out for a long period of time. And then once he comes back, he gives you signs of the player that he may have been or could have been for Barcelona for years to come. And then the lasting image that we have from him, Barcelona, is doing spinning kicks in this fight that Sid was just talking about. And so it's difficult to really to sum up what Barcelona was at the time that Diego Maradona was there. But certainly for him, you can see it from his perspective that it was turbulent, inconsistent, and then it just didn't quite work out the way that I think he would have wanted, that Barcelona would have wanted, and in the end it was best for him to exit stage right and then go find something else in Napoli, where obviously he blew up and became the player that we all sort of beloved and admire, of course. And then we also know what he became off the field too.
Sid, nice little anecdote. Barcelona beat Sheffield United out for his signature. Can you imagine the alternate history?
It's extraordinary, isn't it? The idea of Diego Maradona ending up at Sheffield United, it would have been really quite something. It would be fascinating to know how things would have gone, how different things could have been. And can you imagine, I mean, we might be looking back, and saying, wow, Sheffield United, they completely dominated the 80s and the early 90s, the best team English football has ever seen. It wasn't to be. South Yorkshire was not to be the home of the finest football on the planet, and I think Sheffield Wednesday fans, of which I should point out at this stage my sister is one, are probably quite pleased about that.
There you go. Very well said, gentlemen. All right, plenty more on our ESPN F shows throughout the rest of the week. A reminder, we are now back to 7 days a week here on ESPN Plus. Do not miss a single episode.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN Plus.